Hey folks, it's Scott at the X-Fed Homestead. Well, I just got outside and all day I've been inside doing work, and it's time to get out and knock a few things out real quick for the afternoon. It's cloudy and overcast and it's gonna storm for the next week or so. I think the next sunny day we're gonna see is Saturday, and right now it's Tuesday. So I wanna knock out a bunch of little projects here outside before it rains. Not gonna get to too much gardening, but I'm going to try to take care of some things on the garden over there, as well as stack some wood and take care of the chickens and burn some brush and a bunch of other things I want to knock out. So let's get to work. Well, it's early in the spring, but with all this rain coming, it's going to be some raw, wet days. So the firewood bin is kind of empty, and I thought I don't want to be out here in the rain all week, and I'm definitely going to make some fires in the wood stove. So I better stack up and collect some firewood while it's still dry out. Usually I burn about 2 cords a winter and while I'm working, but now that I'm retired, I seem to go through a lot more during the day. So I'm gonna have to get some more next winter, maybe 3 or 4 cords. That'll be fun to stack, but it's a good workout and I enjoy it. And there's nobody else here that's going to do it. Well, since it's going to rain in a couple hours, I thought I'd get rid of a little bit of brush and some stuff that I've had laying around the yard drying out all winter. It'll be wet in a couple of hours, so it'll take care of it. It's going to make quite a blaze though for a few minutes. Well, while the fire's heating up and I'm doing some of these other chores in between, I want to get some Hollytone, which is acidic and adds to the pH. You can see it's just basically a powder here, but I want to put that under my blueberries, and what that will do is raise the pH of the soil around the blueberries to kind of help it take in the nutrients from the soil. I notice whenever I put Hollytone on my blueberries, they do great for the season. So before it rains, I want that stuff to soak in through the mulch that I have, so I'm going to put down a nice coat of Hollytone on there and get the pH up for my blueberries. Should be a good year. Now you can see these buds starting to come on the blueberries with the warm weather that we've been having this late winter and early spring. And so I took the opportunity last week to do some hard pruning. These are some of my original blueberry bushes from 4 years ago, and it was time for them to be pruned. And so I took a bit off there, some of the branches that weren't doing so well, and you can see these newer branches coming into shape here. These are well, I got all the branches cleaned out of the way first. I think that was important for walking around. So I have some more piles over here so that I can burn those later on in the year. And while that's burning down, I'll put the Hollytone on and we'll get that done. heard the directions of the Hollytone package. Because I've got a lot of mulch here below my blueberries, I'm going to put it on about twice as thick as I normally would. And the rain that's coming is going to push it right into the soil. Well, that takes care of that for another season. One of the things that I hadn't mentioned before is that I had some trouble with my garden. When you last saw a video about my garden, I was putting the plastic over it and weed proofing it, as it were, for the spring, which you can see behind me over my left shoulder here. And it looks great, it's holding up great, but then if you look to the right, there's no plastic over that part of the garden. So what happened is we got a windstorm in here, and it was pretty vicious, and it tore up my plastic, which I can show you a little bit of video of. And the plastic ripped apart. The sandbags were left there right on the ground, but the plastic got ripped to shreds. So much for that idea. I'm looking at buying a silage tarp, which is a little thicker than the 5 mil plastic that I had, and I'm hoping that the silage tarp will do me better next year. But I've got a bunch of smaller pieces of the black plastic that I had. There's a large piece there that's working, and I've got a smaller piece working over another part of the garden. And so I'm going to use it up as best as I can and salvage what I can from it. And next year I'll get a better silage tarp to do the weed proofing of the garden for the spring. Might as well empty the compost while I'm out here. Now these green pieces of corrugated roofing, they're plastic, and they were up on the roof of the shed for so long. They kind of dried out and cracked over the years. I try to put them to use, as you can see behind me here, covering the compost piles for the winter. And they did okay, but I think they're at or near the end of their useful life. So I'm going to take them apart, take the wood off them. I've got some strapping backing them up, and I'll use that for another project. But those are going in the trash today. While I'm back here, I'm going to grab some raspberries that I cut down at the end of last year and burn those off too. I stack all this stuff here strategically in the fall because I know this fence is coming down. It has all my rotten leaves in it. I'll spread those over the garden and in with the chickens during the year. That'll give me access, more freer access to my compost, which I've covered with these old pieces of roofing. But those are going to go because I think that some tarps are a little bit more efficient in doing that when I want to cover the compost. Getting this out of here will also give me access to my new shed and be able to make, and I'll be able to make some more compost piles here in the spring. I'll clean out the chicken coop for its spring cleaning of all its deep bedding, and then I'll have more beautiful compost for the fall. I had my zinnias planted here last year, and they died over the winter, and I can see some new growth coming, so I'm going to move these old zinnias out of the way and throw them in the burn pile as well. I can already see some lupine, some yarrow, lupines over there, some other perennials already coming in. So hopefully after this week, we'll start getting a bit warmer and we won't have another occurrence of winter. Since I've got a little extra room in the wheelbarrow, I think I'll go pick up all the sticks that fell off the ash tree during the windstorm. All right, I may be a little overzealous. That thing's got to go though. Well, the fire's almost burnt down and most of the chores are pretty much done. I got a lot done in the last couple hours. So now it's getting dark. You can see the rain coming, which is going to put out that fire for good tonight. And I got to get ready for supper, figure out what I'm going to cook. So that's it today. Hope you had a good time watching this. I'm Scott at the XFed Homestead. See you next time.